Play different.
Greetings fellow Mac addicts. In this video we're looking at Gobbledygooks, an unreleased puzzle game from Kendall, the creator of Unicycle, and the Flash animation The Demented Cartoon Movie. In the game, you must guide the titular Gobbledygooks to an exit found in each level. This is done by manipulating the environment with mouse clicks, such as switching the way arrows are pointing, otherwise the mindless critters will just wander back and forth between walls. The other possibility is that something will kill them, usually in a cartoonishly violent way. Other ways to manipulate the environment include raising and lowering blocks, using Gobbledygooks to activate switches, firing lasers, and blowing up TNT, the latter two being able to destroy obstacles and hazards. You also have the ability to simply click on some blocks to blow them up, which can really open up a level, though it doesn't feel too overpowered because of just how dang stupid the Gobbledygooks are. I certainly wouldn't trust them in a China store, or even a rubber store for that matter. Among the hazards the critters must avoid are pits, rolling boulders, electrified plates, and your own stupidity. I managed to inadvertently kill my gobbles with lasers or TNT on more than one occasion, and other times I failed to think far enough ahead and let them happily fall down a pit. The main game I would compare it to would be Sega's Choo Choo Rocket, though Gobbledygooks predated it by quite a few years. Of course, a puzzle game is only as good as its level design, and it's pretty solid in Gobbledygooks. Some of it is rough around the edges, especially a level where I'm not sure if I found the intended solution or if I just cheesed it, but for the most part, they are designed tightly around the mechanics and abilities available to the player. There is a problem with the difficulty curve, but I'll talk more about that later. Kendall came up with the mechanics around 1994 or 95 when he was 12 years old. He says he can't remember what was going through his head when he thought of it, as back then he felt he would just pull ideas from the ether. He's only certain that Lemmings was an influence. Actual development began work in 1997, with a long time gap leading to the game basically becoming a second version of the original idea. Kendall then dropped the game for 2 years, picked it back up in 1999, then dropped it once more, this time for good. As for why it was cancelled, well, it never officially was. Kendall says the trouble is that he hadn't learned how to finish projects and he would just stop working on things when he lost interest. Before dropping it, he estimates he designed around 20 to 30 levels, at which point he became burned out by level design. He says if he knew then what he knows now, he would have decided that was good enough and released the game. However, he wanted to design a whopping 100 levels because games like Lemmings had that many, and he was holding himself to that same standard. Sadly, he lost these levels and the original source code. All that remains is a demo with 12 of the levels he designed, which we have been looking at in this video. Kendall says it's not the greatest, as the difficulty curve is quite steep as there aren't enough levels to ease the player into new mechanics. I agree that this is a problem, and when first reaching certain levels, I felt immediately overwhelmed. But despite that, I had a fantastic time with the demo, and I think it's a real shame a more substantial version no longer exists. Kendall himself says he thinks people would have really enjoyed it, and I certainly did. Still, it's fortunate we have anything left at all. If you want a short but challenging and original puzzler, check out the Gobbledygooks demo today. Thank you for watching.